like to call to order our public hearing for this evening, July 25th. And the hearing is about the 2017-2018 excuse me, FMCC budget. And so it's a public's opportunity to, if you have any comments, please step towards the rail and say your name for the record and let us hear what you have to say. Not seeing or not hearing anyone, I would just like to thank Dr. Swanger for being here this evening first, and also this is my fourth year with the legislature, and the budgets remain the same for the last 4 years, so I'd like to congratulate Dr. Swanger on that. So if any other anyone from the public wishing to speak, this is your last chance. Hearing none, the hearing's closed. Always a lot. We'll start the regular meeting in a few minutes.
I can still see it.
No, these take 24 hours. Crazy
Just went into our business. That's what I hired her in the village.
Oh, really?
No one at the moment, they're just holding her. Break the ties because I have to just hire someone to do local stuff.
Yeah.
And I get them to her. And bigger stuff, she'll just do other stuff with John.
Yeah.
I keep teasing John all the time, I said, the money you pay, you can't go out and get a pair of socks. I didn't know John for 20 years.
From Chris, he's in the business.
Yep.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Montgomery County Legislature for July 25th, 2017, and let the record reflect at 7 p.m. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chairman Dyton.
Present.
Legislator Hedwell.
Present.
Legislator Wilson.
Present.
Legislator Duchessis.
Present.
Legislator Peck.
Present.
Legislator Isabel.
Present.
Legislator Pertel.
Present.
Legislator Kelly.
Present.
Legislator Sweet.
Present.
Thank you. If we could all stand to salute the flag and remain standing for the moment of silence, please. Legislator Kelly, please lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you remain standing for a moment of silence, I try to remember some of the veterans that have recently passed away from Montgomery County. The first one is Anthony Lane. He was 88 years old from Fultonville. Tony probably served this country in the U.S. Army's military police, attaining the rank of sergeant. His assignment took him to Eritrea, and several other North African countries. Thomas John Scandera, 89, of Palatine Bridge. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1945, receiving his training at Parris Island, South Carolina, and San Diego, California. He was a rifle marksman who was sent overseas to China and was honorably discharged after his return. Jack O. Landry, 94, of Jewett Street in Amsterdam. Jack was a veteran of the Canadian Air Force, or Canadian Armed Forces, serving from 1939 to 1945 in the European Theater, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, and was a recipient of the Silver Star Award. Mr. Harry Fryers, 91, of Hickory Hill Road. Harry served proudly in the United States Army, serving during World War II in Korea. He was a member of the VFW Post 942 in Fonda and past commander of the former VFW Post 510 in Johnstown. And a lot of you, some of you in the room, know our purchasing agent, Scott Sorrento. His father recently passed away, Carmen Sorrento. Carmen worked for the New York State DOT and General Electric, and some of you folks from the south side may have known him Wednesday's card game at Herb's Tavern. So, but the one thing I did notice in the obituary, which I hope will leave some fond memories for some of the people here, it says Carm was a family guy who enjoyed his life. His family would gather every Sunday to catch up with each other over a plate of Carm's famous spaghetti dinner. So I'm sure some of you can relate to that, and if we can keep these folks in our thoughts. Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone from the public wishing to speak about any of the county business this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to the presentations. And if I could have Legislator Patel come forward, and Jeffrey Fonda, if you would be kind enough to come forward.
So, Jeffrey.
Turn around this way. So I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to get Cheryl's attention afterwards. Yeah.
It's been a mission of this legislative body to respond to the people in our community that we feel have done some great things. And we'd like to thank you today for your bravery and your willingness to help in a situation that was obviously dire at the time. Most of the time, other people are standing and watching, and as you would probably saw on Facebook and YouTube in the past, there was recently a disabled person that was swimming and died, and the people just reacted poorly. But it's people like yourself that make a difference in our community, and on behalf of the executive, Matthew Ossenfort, and our chair, Roy Diamond, and the rest of the legislative body, we just wanted to thank you for standing up and being a great human being.
And we have a proclamation here for you, and I'll just grab my glasses here, sorry. This is Jeffrey Fonda using quick thinking and sound judgment, is reacting to a dangerous situation and in a selfless manner, stepping up for another person who is in distress, as a good Samaritan to ensure the safety of that individual. And that's signed by Matthew Ossenfort and myself, Roy Diamond. We have the video of Jeff's heroic act, and Cheryl will play it for us. And there she goes.
Which shirt did you have on?
I had a white t-shirt with dark blue shorts.
Oh, good for you.
Right,
Oh, you're on the other side.
right on the other side, the guy in the red.
You want to play it again, Cheryl?
Sorry.
Can you play it again? Would you have the white t-shirt and blue shorts?
Yeah, right, there was a guy in a red t-shirt, that was right.
Cheryl played again. Jeffrey had the white t-shirt and blue shorts on the other side.
Commercial.
Does he work locally?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh. Sorry, technical difficulties.
That's okay.
Turn up, you stock!
Here you go, man.
All right, they'll catch you! They'll catch you, honey! Go ahead!
That was awesome. Thank you. Look at this. Jeff, can we have you go back up for a picture? Put it in our archives. You just stay up front. Yes. One more.
Don't be distracted by the purple.
Madam Clerk, any communications?
I sent everyone the information on the 2017 NISAC conference. Just to note that it's September 13th to the 15th, but if you do want to go, it will take some time to do the paperwork and do the reservations, so if you can let me know as soon as possible, that would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get into the approval of minutes, it's always my policy to recognize any dignitaries in the gallery, and I would like to recognize Dr. Dustin Swinger from FMCC. Thank you for coming, and Legislator Emeritus Ryan Weitz. So, Ryan, thank you for coming. Good to see you.
Just one other thing I wanted to mention to everyone. The county employees this Friday, July 28th, will be having a Jeans Day, and the money that we collect for that will be going to the Mancini family in lieu of the fire that they had.
Thank you. I'll be looking for a motion and a second for the approval of minutes. And for June 20th, it's Economic Development Committee meeting, Health and Human Services Committee meeting, Public Safety Committee meeting, Education and Government, Physical Services, Budget and Finance. For July 18th, we have Economic Development Planning Committee, Public Safety Committee, Health and Human Resources, Health and Human Services Committee, Physical Services Committee, Education and Government Committee. Those for July 18th. Could I have a motion in a second? Legislator Pett, Legislator Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Next, I'm looking for a motion and a second for the acceptance of the budgetary transfers. And the budgetary transfers are budgetary transfers for June 21st to July 21st, and the aggregate budget transfers for July of 2017. Looking for a motion and a second. Legislator Kelly, Legislator Headwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. I'm looking for a motion and a second for the procurement record for June of 2017. Motion, Legislator Pep. Second, Legislator Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. Anything under old business? Anything under new business? All right. We'll go right to the resolutions. Resolution 175, resolution adopting introductory local law amending Law 2 of 2017 Economic Development Planning. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Peck. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
For the folks in the gallery, if you look up on the screen, it'll give the resolutions and also it'll tell the voting and also if the resolution passes or fails. Resolution 176, resolution accepting grant applications for Arcale Museum above ground storage collection feasibility study project. Sponsors were legislators Headwell and Diamond. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Did someone say nay?
No.
Pass.
Resolution 178, resolution accepting funding and authorizing contract for the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant and amending the 2017 budget. Oh, sorry.
177.
Resolution 177. Resolution amending the revolving loan fund approval, Test Corporation and the new process cleaners. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Now Resolution 178. Resolution accepting funding and authorizing contract for Public Health Emergency Preparedness Grant and amending the 2017 budget. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Patel. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 179, resolution amending the 2017 operating budget to accept enhanced child protective services grant funds and establishing a case supervisor positions. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 180, resolution amending the 2017 operating budget and establishing a full-time welfare employment representative. Sponsors were Diamond and Peck. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 181, resolution authorizing the county executive to sign an agreement with Genuine Parts Company, DBA at Napa. Sponsors were Diamond and Peck. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Legislator Duchessis.
I'm still not satisfied. Perhaps I should have gotten some answers earlier with respect to this resolution. I responded this morning to an email asking if there were any questions with regard to this. I do have opposition to this for a number of reasons. The first being that really it is, I think, a step towards privatization of county functions with regard to purchasing. In particular, I'm not convinced that we would be getting the best prices from a single source vendor for these products. In addition, I think by separate resolution, there is a resolution a proposal to lease space to the vendor at a fairly nominal rate. So for those reasons, I would be opposed to this, but would like to make a motion to table.
Well, we can, I was going to withdraw my sponsorship, if that would suit you, or we can, I had replied to that, as part of the discussion, I replied to that. There was a lot of the legislators had questions, and I wanted really to have all the questions answered before it went for a vote. One of the misinformation was it's a single source provider. That's not the case. But in any event, with that said, and with having talked to a lot of you today, I would withdraw my sponsorship from this resolution. So unless someone else wants to pick it up. I scheduled for our May 8th workshop to have some of the representatives come here, explain everything again, and give us a better idea of what we're voting on.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate that, because the other thing that I'm looking for here is some kind of a baseline measurement so that we can actually tell if this is effective and if we are truly saving money.
Point well taken, Legislator Jesse. No one wants to pick up the sponsorship. I will move on to the next resolution. It's Resolution 182. Resolution authorizing county executive to sign an engineering service agreement with County Route 160, Burtonsville Road Spur Bridge Replacement. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Headwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. Resolution 183, resolution awarding clarifier, rehabilitation, and leachate acceptance project contracts and authorizing the county executive to enter into said contracts. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Headwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. It's the accept.
Yeah, we gotta fill in the blanks.
Oh, okay, well, that's the one we're going to table. We looked for we are rebidding or possibly reviewing the bids again to come up with some more exact numbers than what we received. So with that said, if I could get a motion to table, Legislator Sweet and a second, Legislator Pertel. All in favor of tabling resolution 184. 183.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions. Resolution 184, resolution amending the 2017 operating budget and authorizing the county executive to sign a contract with McDonald Engineering Sanitary District. Sponsors were legislator Isabel and Headwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Resolution 185, resolution authorizing expenditure, excuse me, resolution amending the 2017 operating budget and authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract with NICID and General Code, Shared Services Digitalization Grant. Sponsors were legislators Diamond and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 186, excuse me, resolution authorizing the expenditure of bed tax funds to the Fort Plain Museum to promote tourism in Montgomery County. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 187, resolution authorizing the County of Montgomery to transfer the Northern Transfer Station owned jointly by the counties of Montgomery, Otsego, and Schoharie, by the counties of Montgomery, Otsego, and Schoharie to Otsego County. Sponsors were legislators Pertel and Peck. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 188, resolution endorsing the grant application of Fullmont Snow Travelers, New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and History. The sponsors were legislators Headwell and Kelly. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll be abstaining from this.
Thank you, Deputy Chair. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Legislator Duchesky.
Pass.
Resolution 189. Resolution adopting the introductory law, a law authorizing a lease agreement between Frank Rico and Montgomery County. Sponsors were legislators Diamond and Headwell. This goes hand in hand with the other resolution, and again, I will pull my sponsorship. Anyone want to take it over? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next. Resolution 190. Resolution adopting introductory law H, a law repealing local law 11 of 2002 and imposing a wireless communications surcharge pursuant to tax law. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Legislator Kelly. Abstentions?
Pass.
Resolution 191, resolution adopting the 2017-2018 FMCC operating budget. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Pass.
Resolution 192. Resolution rescinding resolution number 84 of 2016 and adopting Montgomery County audit guidelines. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Headwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Legislator Kelly. Abstention?
Pass.
Resolution 193, bond resolution of the County of Montgomery, New York, dated July 25, 2017, authorizing the acquisition of new equipment for the county's Department of Public Works, estimating the aggregate cost thereof to be $496,000, appropriating said amount therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $496,000 in serial bonds of the county to finance said cost and related expenses. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Diamond. Discussion. Legislator Pep.
Chairman Diamond, I would like to propose an amendment to this resolution. And that amendment would be this, to change the dollar amount from $496,000 to $528,000, increasing it by $32,000 for the purpose of including a Ford F-350 Super Duty truck needed by our Department of Weights and Measures. We had a discussion with the treasurer late this afternoon indicating that this could be included under this bond request. Has really no material impact on the repayment of the bonds as proposed in the resolution. And we feel that this is a way to accomplish this need for our Department of Weights and Measures without needing to invade our fund balance, which was otherwise proposed as part of the original resolution.
Thank you, Legislator Peck. Do I have a second for the amendment? Legislator Headwell. Discussion on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment, let's say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Now we'll vote on the resolution 193 as amended. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll vote on 193 as resolution as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Pass.
Resolution 194, resolution approving the abstract of audited claims. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Headwell. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Pass.
Resolution 195, resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into an agreement with the Montgomery County Agricultural Society promoting youth days at the Montgomery County Fonda Fair. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Headwell. Discussion.
I want to pull my sponsorship of this.
Okay, do we have anyone to sponsor the resolution? Legislator Patel. Discussion, Legislator Kelly.
As I'm treasurer of the Montgomery County Ag Society, I will be recusing myself.
Thank you, Legislator Kelly. Any discussion or further discussion on resolution 195?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Legislator Chessie.
As discussed in committee, I did contact the county executive with respect to some alternative line items that we might draw this money from, and he provided two to us. I think they're on everyone's table. It involves $7,500 from two different line items. I want to add that I offered to do that, and because I think this is something that's pretty much been done on an annual basis, and it's a pretty hard thing not to support with respect to to allowing youth to attend the county fair. However, I still have some feelings about this with respect to two things. One is, since this is pretty much done on an annual basis, this is something that should have been budgeted to begin with. And it's an unfortunate position to put our fellow legislators in with respect to voting even on something like this, which could have been handled differently. And with respect to Legislator Kelly's abstention here, I'm not sure that there's a conflict of interest there, because he has no personal gain or benefit from this. I think the county attorney will tell us that a conflict of interest is really a term of art. Sometimes we throw it around like we know what it means, but I don't think there really is a conflict there. And since he advocates for the fair, perhaps this is something that he should have addressed. And I got to tell you that I took note of some of my fellow legislators' hesitancy to use an unappropriated fund balance for this. for many other items. One in particular sticks out, but that's not the point. The point is that this should have been something that's been budgeted, and the discussion should take place during our budget workshops. At any rate, my motion to amend is for the appropriate line items as put forth on your desk there. 824-4, 6430-00, 1100, and then there's going to be another A17-4, 4310-00, 1100, 302. $7,500 each.
Is that correct?
Legislator Duchessis, just so everyone knows, the transfer should reflect transfer from those two lines, and then it would be a transfer to the A-21-4 that's already in the resolution of 15,000.
Yeah, I was glossing over that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
first transfer from, I
Yeah.
know it's two, because it's a $1,500 total.
So the two 7,500s are transferring from and transferring to the youth bureau.
And striking the increase A599.
Correct.
Do we have a second for the amendment? Legislator Wilson. Discussion on the amendment. Legislator Sweet.
I would have to agree with Legislator Jesse. I think that this is something that should be budgeted for next year, and while in support of this, but to use appropriate fund balance is probably not the best way to do it. So I would stress that next year, or for the coming year, be put in the budget as a regular item.
Any further discussion?
I still am going to go on record again saying that I have major problems taking money from one department and moving it to another department, because of the fact is we don't know if the department has plans on using the money for something else, what their plans are. We're 3/4 of the way through the budget season. Some departments are saving their money. They're doing some sensible things. They're not spending it. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then they're getting the money taken away from them and being put into other funds. This is the second time it's been done, and just recently, we say at one moment we're consolidating, we're saving money, and then we're taking their money and we're using it somewhere else. The other thing I want to say is, this is July, this is the end of July. The fair is a month away. This is something that should have been done months ago, not at the last hour, and done now. I mean, this is a good thing to be happening to do, but again, it shouldn't be done at the 11th hour. And it's putting all of us in a tough spot, and I don't know if it was done purposely that way to do this or not. But, and again, I agree, this should have been something that should have been budgeted in the budget process. We had to go through the budget process last week and do what we needed to do. This should have been done the same way. And again, taking money from one department, moving it to another department, I just don't think that's the proper way to be doing things.
Thank you, Legislator. I would just like to say, and I concur with all my fellow legislators, last year we did do this at the time when I voted to do it. I had mentioned that this money should be included in the budget. I mentioned that with Youth Day, it was brought up. Fortunately, they had a grant, or I would have voted against that. I don't support the resolution, because at some point, when the legislators make budget requirements, we need to enforce that. That being said, I would concur with, again, Legislator Headwell, that I would never support something where we're taking money from another department to fund this. That being said, I did have a conversation with the director of public health and mental health, and let me preface that by saying, what kind of message are we sending to our department heads who work all year? They consolidate titles. they develop and maneuver their budget and to last them for the end of the year. And then, as legislators, we come in and raid their budget. Having said that, I had a discussion with Director Baranko from something that the county treasurer had said last year, where we have some unexpected costs coming up. Part of this money was designated for those unexpected costs, and these are significant costs. Also, there's state mandated programs that we are required to fulfill that some of this money would go towards. So for the legislature, not knowing anything about the budget, going in, taking money from someone who's worked hard to save money, to preserve the fund balance, to make the department work, meeting all the state regulations, is something I can't support. So I will also, during discussion, I don't know if Director Branco, if you care to elaborate on any of this?
Sure. I'd like, first of all, thank you for having me tonight, but one of my concerns is, in this consolidation project, I was asked to take a look at my budget and make sure that I had enough funds to cover state mandated programs that, as the Department of Health, we are required under Article 6 to maintain. And I did that with the understanding that the finances would be held in place as a result of this consolidation, and I've already taken a $16,000 hit to that budget as a result of my funds being taken for another issue. And now to come and ask me for another $7,500, I think is going to put a big hurdle in my way when I'm looking at running my department. I do have things that are coming up for the end of the year that have to be paid for quarterly through the state. And instead of coming to you all back again in October and saying I need more money from the fund balance, if my budget was to be maintained, that portion of the fund balance that I would need would be considerably less if that budget line item were to maintain the current status. And also I know that the funds that currently are in that account, the $16,000 that was currently allotted has not been removed. So when we look at that budget line item, I believe it looks like there's $45,000 in there, but there's not. There's $45,000 minus that $16,000 that has not been transferred yet. So I actually have a lot less to work with come October when I have to pay the state for some mandated services. So I ask that you just keep that in mind.
Thank you, Director. Any further comment?
Mr. Chairman?
Legislator Chessie.
I would not dispute any of the points that were made here this evening with respect to this, and I understand them, and frankly, I accept them. And I just want to add one more thing that I don't like about this, and that it's really, here too, there's no measurement. We don't really know what these attendance figures are for youth. We don't know what the benefit of the bargain is. We don't have access to the agreement that is going to be entered into, any of those things. So there's a lot wrong with this, absolutely. The only reason that I offered to contact the county executive with respect to an alternative line item was because of the lateness of the proposal and its nature of letting kids into the fair. Beyond that, there's nothing that I like about this.
Thank you, Legislator Chessie. Any further discussion on the amendment? The only thing I would, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Legislator Pep is kind enough to put together a dashboard for us. We have monthly budget workshops, and it just irritates me. And I know I'm repeating myself, that everyone in this room goes all to the trouble of trying to manage a budget, and then we have something like this where we're raiding other departments. So that's enough said on that. I'll be looking for a vote on the amendment. Legislator Sweet.
Do we have any idea what dollar amount was used last year?
I think it was the same 15,000.
It was 15,000, but so we gave the fair $15,000, but we have no, not like, that's
I was never privy to the, like the legislator Duchessis said, I was never privy to the contract.
There, as part of the contract, it was required that documentation be submitted from the fair for the number of kids that attended on each day and the number of vouchers. So that, I believe that is in the possession of the legislature.
Not the current, like that came from.
The one from last year.
Last year,
But we do have the numbers from last year.
Yeah.
And that was required as part of the contract, and the contract.
So if we tabled this and we figured out what actually the dollar amount was from last year, would it be time to make this go through next month's board meeting, you know, and able to sign the agreement with the board, fair work? Would be enough time?
I would think the fair doesn't start till last weekend.
The meeting's August
The meeting is
22nd.
the 22nd, and the fair starts, I believe, on Monday, the 28th. No?
I'm not sure.
So,
I mean, the dollar
It's
amount.
Wednesday and Friday is what the resolution is, the 30th and the 1st.
So then that
it
would
start
give us
either
time.
Monday or Tuesday.
Right, so the dollar amount is $15,000, but maybe only $7,500 was used towards actually letting children into the fair. So we could lower that by half, or, I mean, I don't know what the number is, but it would be nice to know what that number is so that, you know, we can make an educated decision on the amount of money that we're going to appropriate for that. Thank you, Chair.
thank you, Legislator Sweet.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, Legislator Isabel, sorry.
I would like to know how much of that money was used last year and what it was used for.
Okay.
And I am not supportive of taking it away from the department that's trying to run a efficient budget at this time. If we find another place to find it, it's a different story.
Thank you, Legislator Isabel. I'll break it down for you. Legislator Pertel.
I was just going to make a motion to table.
All right. Well, let me just explain. We have a amendment that's on the floor that we need to vote on. What I would recommend is, if it's the pleasure of the board to gather more information and to see this, return to this at a different time, I would recommend someone pull their sponsorship so that if we had to call a special meeting, we could do that. If we decide to table, just so everybody knows, then we have to wait till August 29th, which would be cutting it kind of short.
22nd.
22nd, I'm sorry.
I'll pull my sponsorship. Yeah, you don't need to be a weatherman to know which way the wind's blowing. I would withdraw my amendments.
We have to withdraw the amendment. Now back to the resolution as proposed. Legislator Pertel, withdraw his sponsorship. Thank you, gentlemen. That is the last resolution of the evening. I would like to go to the other part of our agenda. And with us this evening, we have Bill Rohr from Montgomery County Economic Development, who's going to give us a brief description of the consolidation plan that the executive handed out to us as part of the requirements. And Bill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to try to simplify this to the extent that I can, because there's overlapping initiatives here and similar nomenclatures used. So let me draw that distinction first. What we submitted back at the end of June on the 28th was what was called a municipal consolidation and efficiency plan. We were one of 6 entities in the state that was invited to prepare one of those. That went in. I'll be a little cautious with my speech here, but I can tell you that it was well received. The executive did a phenomenal job on the presentation and so forth, so I have reason to be optimistic about that. New York State is coming out with all sorts of different initiatives related to sharing of services and consolidation. As part of the budget this past spring, what they had done was to put together what was called the Countywide Shared Services Initiative. Unlike the Municipal Consolidation and Efficiency Plan, every county outside of New York City had to prepare that, okay? And so we are in the process of preparing it. So what I did was, with the county executive, we prepared a memorandum for you just to explain what the process was. Attached to that memorandum is a statement indicating what the probable savings are. The savings are found in the binders that you have there, which, believe it or not, are simply that is a Cliff Note version of the plan that went in. That was 518 pages. So tried to keep it reasonably condensed for your reading now. At this time, again, there's no action required by the legislature. However, the statute provides that the county executive must, by August 1st, submit to the county legislature the plan and the anticipated savings. What we've done, we've brought together what's called the panel, which is all the chief elected, the mayors and the supervisors of each of the municipalities. Met with them, we've had another public meeting, gotten their general assent on moving forward here on this. So what we're doing is we're presenting to you the estimated cost savings. When you dig through, it's about $38 million based upon our $20 million request.
What was the amount, Bill?
$38 million. That is based upon the $20 million request. And what we're doing, and the county attorney and I had a very important discussion about this, that plan is serving as the basis for what our county-wide shared services initiative is going to be. There will be other things that will be added to that. We're required to have 3 additional public meetings. We're required to pull the public together again. We're required to take the advice of the county legislature and so forth. There is, the state came out with the general rules for this, but they didn't give us a clear idea yet because there is a 1-for-1 matching savings. So, but just how that process is going to work, how the accounting is going to work, that is still being developed by the New York State Department of State in consultation with the State Division of Budget. So we're going to try to get a better sense of that. There'll be more material added into that. What you have in front of you, like I said, if you want to think about it, it's the foundation of that plan. We know our numbers are pretty good in there, but we want to be very, very careful and very thorough in catching and quantifying all the other sharing of services that are going on, either going on now and haven't been codified, or new sharing of services such that they may be included and be countable as part of the, for the matching state monies. So we're waiting, there's still not a lot of guidance there, we're waiting on that guidance to emerge. We're meeting with the panel and everybody, so that's just where we're at. So what we're doing at this point is merely fulfilling a statutory requirement, giving that to you, but we wanted to lay this out and let you know this is not the final document. We have until September 15th for that to go in. It's actually voted upon by the panel, chaired by the legislature, and then panel consisting of the other chief elected officers. So I hope I made that reasonably clear. There's so many similar initiatives here.
So Bill, some of the legislators are very curious about the plan. I wanted to thank you for giving us that. If they had any questions, should they contact you directly?
Absolutely. I put my direct line in the memorandum, and please do that. And that goes for both this shared services initiative plan as well as the municipal consolidation and efficiency plan that we submitted and then presented this past week. I'd be more than happy.
Legislator Petter.
Yes.
Bill, thank you for all your hard work on this. We're all excited about it. Just, can you give us an idea what the timetable is beyond all the statutory requirements for reports submitting? When will decisions be made on this money by the state? If you can give us in a ballpark there.
Legislator Pep, on in terms of the decisions on the document that went in June, the state held their interviews with all the, and presentations with all the competing entities on schedule. We expect to hear final word in September.
After the submission of the more comprehensive report?
No, this will actually be a distinct document that will go in.
I see.
So the municipal consolidation and efficiency plan, we're going to hear in September. This plan here has to be submitted, has to be approved by the panel, and then I believe submitted by the October 15th. I have some of those dates in there. That's going to take a bit longer, and frankly, there is an issue of how they're going to account for savings and so forth. That's up in the air. They've not, to this point, promulgated any type of real good regulations there, or real strict guidance for how we count that, how we apply for the money for the one-to-one match. Suffice it to, go ahead.
Is it an all or nothing thing? I mean, there's $20 million on the table for the shared services proposal, correct? Is it all or nothing, or will the state look at this and say, Montgomery County, we like your plan, but we're going to give you X amount of dollars, and so on. Suffolk County, you're a close second, we'll give you the
In terms of the municipal consolidation and efficiency plan, and setting aside what's in front of you right now, the guidance document said $20 million, all or nothing. When we attended the meetings where they rolled this out, they were still very clear that even if you don't win the $20 million, there are a number of programs primarily funneled through the Department of State, and we are going to assist you. Now, they didn't put a dollar amount there, but I think it's safe to say that the amount of assistance will be significant.
There'll be some consolation prizes.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll take that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Thank you.
we're in on.
Thank you, Bill.
Legislator Sweet.
Yes, thank you, Bill. I'm all for shared services. I think that's a great thing. Yeah, I see under the budget summary here, initiative number 3, court consolidation is a fairly large portion of the submission.
Yes.
Yeah, I know as being a town supervisor, trying to consolidate court was a bear with the state. Have they tried to help in eliminating all the red tape that?
Yeah, in fact, not only have they done that, we, and the county attorney was there, we invited someone from, I think it's the 4th Judicial Administrative District down to help us out, because we needed to understand what the rules were for court facilities, because they weren't so clear. And also, this is a very important point, legislator. In the past, the OCA is focused on city courts and on county courts, meeting requirements and everything. Now, they're taking that focus down to the village and the town courts. And when we looked at those in the aggregate, and some are in good shape, but there's some with, I'm sure you all know, that they're just grossly undersized, certainly not in conformance with OCA requirements. There are security concerns. There's issues about with new stuff the state's pushing with the way arraignments occur and everything like that. So the individual from OCA, and I think OCA in its entirety, are here to work with us and really facilitate this to the extent that they can. I was very happy with that meeting. I did not know how it would go, and we just got some wonderful advice. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I know in the past, I could not get any answers from them at all. I mean, it
Yes,
was,
I think they had been previously concentrating on the county courts and the city courts, but now they're drilling down. And there's, you know, they're recognizing the concern of village courts and county courts. So we're very optimistic about that. I think we're going to have a very strong partner and advocate, frankly, in OCA as we get into this.
good. Thank you.
Any further discussion for Bill? Bill, thank you for coming, and thank you, I mentioned before, for your hard work and for you to get the Maxwell School here to help us with the project. That is a great accomplishment, and I can't thank you enough for
Well,
that.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I can be permitted a personal remark, this was, I mean, this is a big team. Megan played a big role. Obviously, the students from Maxwell School played a big role. We had any number of vendors, professional services firms had provided their services for free, contributed to this. So this was, I played a role in it, but just a role. This was a big team effort, and that's what happened.
Thank you, Bill. Before we adjourned, I would just like to thank our county attorney and the clerk of the legislature for your help with the meeting this evening. I'd like to thank our department heads, especially the one that remained to be with us this evening. And I'll be looking for a motion. Legislator Patel, Legislator Kelly. All those in favor? To adjourn? We're adjourned. Let the record show, say